Hey guys, this is Nathan, and welcome back to Sky Factory. So I've been doing a little bit of stuff in between episodes, and I've run through all of my loot bags here recently, and I got tons of things that need to be smelted down. The problem is, we don't have a smeltery. So we have tons and tons of these ore gravels, and if we look up ore, actually we have more than just the ore gravels. We have the sands, we have the dust. We need to start dealing with these automatically. So, yeah, we've got tons of this stuff being run through right now for sieving. And actually, if we go down and take a look, I updated one of the pulverizers down here to the reinforced. This one here that's doing the cobblestone. I put in the overclocked modular gearbox upgrade or augment, and you can see this thing is really pulverizing fast. If we compare that to the speed on this one, yeah, there's quite a bit of difference in speed. So it is using a lot more power, but we're just going to have to deal with that. So what I want to do right away here is to build out our next platform here, and we're going to use it for ore processing. So I'm going to set this stuff up for automatic pulverizing, or I'm going to set it up for automatic sieving and crafting, pulverizing, and smelting. So we do have one issue that we haven't addressed yet, and that is the automatic crafting of these items into, the broken ore into gravel. So we do have some things here, and one issue that I have been running into very frequently is running out of aluminum. So I managed to figure out that there are crops from magical crops that make aluminum, but they're called aluminium, so I couldn't see them before. But we do have that, and if we go here and look up the... Whoops. We have 515 of the aluminium essence. Now these don't convert direct into ingots, they convert into the ore. And yeah, we have enough to make quite a bit of that right now. But if we take a look at the uses on this stuff, now this is another place that we're going to have to get some different machinery involved and some crafting and things like that. There are a lot of ways to turn this ore into aluminum ingots. Now we can pulverize this and get a 2-for-1. We can also run it through the smeltery and get a 2-for-1. But if we use the induction smelter with rich slag, we get 3. Now we can get the rich slag by running the aluminum ore with sand, getting 2, or we can use pyrotheum dust to get 2 with a 15% chance of rich slag. Now this is one that I don't think I can do because it requires redstone ore, I think. But cinnabar with the ore will give us 3 plus a 75% chance of the rich slag. Let's just take a look. Well, pulverizing gold ore, but we don't get gold ore. Pulverizing redstone. And the cinnabar ore we do not have. So, yeah, this is pretty much a non-existent deal here. But we do have a couple of options to actually get more than 2 ingots from each of these aluminum. And the reason I need aluminum is in the production of the mirrors for these solar panels. Now, I have been continually building up my solar panel supply. You can see I've got, 7 of these solar panel 4s here, and if we look in the system, I have 1 more solar panel 4 here, 12 solar panel 3s, which is enough to make 3 more of the solar panel 4s. And the reason I had to stop is I ran out of aluminum for the mirrors. So the aluminum is going to be something we're really going to push heavily here for a little while. So I think what I'm going to do then is I am going to build out our next platform, and to keep in the method that I've been doing here, we're going to build out a ways, make a crossroads, and then we're going to put, littler platforms off to the side that will do the various jobs of ore processing. So I am going to get going on that, and I will see you guys in a little bit. So I have my platform set up here, and I decided how I'm going to distinguish which direction I'm going when I'm going out from the central section is to put a different type of tree in each one of these intersections out here. So it's pretty easy for me to know if I want to go to the industrial sector, I will go towards the spruce. If I want to go towards the farming area, go towards the oak, and then we'll use probably jungle and acacia for the other two directions. For I think we're going to do our mob spawning down here, and actually I think we're going to do power generation off in this direction eventually. So we'll probably extend the main pathway out further, and we'll put our passive mobs and things like that further out on this side. So for now, we're going to head down here underneath the base, because the first thing that we need to do before we can do any machine work down there is to set up our ME cabling. So we're going to take, I made a whole bunch of the dense cables here. I've got 35 of them. I don't think that's enough, but we're going to see how far that goes. So we're going to lay out our dense cables here running off of a different side of our controller. So we'll have a full new set of 32 channels. And yep, we didn't even make it to the center. So we're going to have to come up here and make a few more. Now I do have an awful lot of the covered cables here in my inventory. So we're just going to pop back up top, get a few more of those dense cables. So let's go ahead and drop in a couple of stacks there. And we'll make up 32 more. There we go. So hopefully that is enough. Now for now, I'm not going to automate anything with the smeltery, but we are going to set up the smeltery. But we'll come down here to the middle, and then we're going to branch this way with our ME cable. And we're just going to run this all the way into the middle of this. So we went one too far. And now we can run 4 of our regular covered cables off of that, and we'll use all 32 channels that are available there. So before we get going on the machinery, I do want to set up the smeltery. Now I do have all of the stuff for the smeltery in my inventory, and we're going to go ahead and put that here in the center of this platform. So we're going to dig out the center of this, and by removing that torch, we do get a spawnable space here. So actually, I need to put that there. And, I think we're going to push this back a couple of blocks, because, we don't really need a lot of room behind the smeltery. So then we're going to take and place down our seared bricks again. Yep. Don't remember for sure where we want to put all this stuff. So we're going to change the configuration of this thing just a little. We're going to put our smeltery controller here on the side. That way we can still access the controller even if we have a hopper going into it. And then we're going to put both of our drains here, but that one faced the wrong way. And then just like before, we're going to put our seared glass with our lava in the back. And from this point, everything else should be bricks. So we're going to go ahead and lay out a whole bunch of these bricks. We should have enough to make the second layer, and that's what it looks like. There we go. So we now have a functioning smeltery again. I'm going to go ahead and drop all of this iron stuff in there that we have been collecting. And now we need to set up our casting basins. So just like before, we're going to break the floor out, put our casting basins down underneath, and we're going to put our transfer nodes on here, the liquid transfer nodes that will pull the liquid out and dump it straight into the basins. Now, I did notice that we have spawnable spaces inside of this thing, so we're just going to go ahead and go around, put 4 torches around the top of it. That will keep any mobs from spawning inside of the smeltery. So we are going to have to get our lava generation set up here again, but I don't want to have it near the top because it will burn these logs. So we'll probably be dropping down quite a bit below the island height in order to build that. So we still need to get in either hoppers or item transfer nodes or even an ME import bus on these casting basins to pull the blocks out of there. But for now, I'm just going to leave that alone. I don't know how much iron we had. Not very much. So it looks like, actually, if we set this basin back into that one, we should be okay. That should make one more block. And there it's full. So now we're going to reset this one again, and there's our iron block. So we got 3 iron blocks out of all of that stuff. That's not too bad. But we've got a lot of stuff that we need to run through the smeltery. But we're going to be running most of our ingot type things through redstone furnaces over here. So I am going to pull up the machines down here. We're going to move not only the redstone furnace, but we're also going to move our pulverizers, the sieve. This stuff will stay down here, the magma crucible and the fluid transposer. Now we do have a full 40 buckets of the destabilized redstone waiting for use. And we may have some in buckets in the ME system as well. But we will be using that stuff pretty heavily here coming up. So I'm going to have to make up a couple more of these redstone furnaces just so that we have enough capacity to smelt the items. We'll want to make those bare minimum in the reinforced and then give them all the upgrades that we can with reinforced. I'm going to make up several more pulverizers because even though we're pulverizing really fast here, we need to be able to have even more. And we may need to make some more of these auto sieves. Now, power is going to be a problem over there because right now this pulverizer alone is taking 320 RF a tick. This sieve is taking 287 RF a tick. So, I mean, we're using a lot of power. This guy is using 60, and if we got more augments in here, we would be using a huge amount of power in that furnace as well. So I think what I'm going to do next, I'm going to pull all these machines down. I'm going to work on making additional solar cells or solar panels so that we can get our power generation over there. And yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to move over. We've got to get all of our buses set up and everything like that. So yep, we're going to have a lot of things to do. I'm probably going to be able to remove a whole bunch of these solar panels because we're not going to have near the power demand over here. But I am going to make up a bunch of those solar panels. I might even make a couple of the tier 5s since we have the materials now to do that. But I'm going to get some of that stuff set up and I will be back. Well, one thing that we need to do if we're going to upgrade the solar panel 4s to solar panel 5s is we need to make reinforced machine frames and redstone energy cells. Now the reinforced machine frames, I've already made a few of those. So if we look here, I've got 3 of those. But the redstone energy cells, we have to make the frame first. And that has to be filled with destabilized redstone and fluid transposer. So I'm going to make up a few of these. Now we have 3 of the others, so actually we'll make 5 of these because that's 20 buckets of redstone. So come down here and drop these in here. Now these should automatically be placed back into the system once it's done, and looks like we could use some augments here. So let's go ahead and grab one of our augments out of here and see if we can get this thing to fill faster. Yep, that very definitely makes it fill faster. So we'll need to get some augments in those machines as well. But so that's going to make our full frames now. So if we look up the frame, we see we've already got 2 of those. So the next thing that we need to do there is add some electrum. lead and conductance coils, and hopefully we have, nope, we don't have the conductance coils. So let's make up a few of those. Those take electrum and redstone. We'll just make up like 5 of those. So now we can make our redstone energy cells, and we will probably be going through and replacing all of our hardened energy cells with these redstone energy cells, because they do have a much higher capacity. They will hold 20 million RF, whereas the others only hold 2, and they can send or receive 8,000 RF a tick, whereas our other guys can only take 800. So we've got some of these. I'm going to drop those off in here, and now we should have everything that we need short of these photovoltaic cells. So let's just see, do we have everything we need there? Yes, we do. Alright, let's just make as many... Ooh, only 2 of those. Okay, so we need to make a whole bunch of these, and we're out of mirrors. So, a whole bunch of mirrors here. That should be good, for now at least. So now we will make a bunch of these. Okay, 22 of those. We'll make a bunch of these, and I don't need 22 of those. 12 should be good. Alright, let's go for it. Solar panel 5. We're making it. So this guy will make 1024 RF by himself, so that is pretty cool. So this one's empty. We're going to pick it up. We're going to place this one in its place. And this also has an internal storage of 16 million RF. So that's pretty nice, whereas these guys only have a 4 million RF buffer. So I'm going to pick these other tier 4 energy cells up, and we're going to pick up all of these redstone conduits, or hardened conduits as well. So we're going to need to make some redstone energy cable, or flux ducts, and some redstone energy cells for down here. So I think I'm going to get another one of these going here, and I suppose what we'll do before we use these guys, just to save the power, we're going to go ahead and drop all of these solar panels around it, just so that we can empty out their internal buffers. Whoops, that's not the right spot for that one. So this guy should be getting some power, and then we'll take it and put it in place of those hardened cells down there. Now, I was also saying we need the flux ducts, so let's take a look at the recipe on those. So the redstone flux ducts, we need our hardened glass and electrum. Pretty simple. So we're going to make a few of these up. 24 should be good. Now we need to fill these, so I'm going the wrong way. We need to go and put these into our fluid transposer down here. So this will fill them up, and we'll have our redstone flux ducts now. So the first thing I'm going to do right here is pick this guy up and replace him with a redstone flux duct. And then we're going to come over here and see this one's empty, this one's empty, that one's empty, and that one is empty. So how much power did we get out of there? Just under 1 million. Not overly great, but not bad. So now we're going to come over here, remove that energy cell, and we are going to put our redstone energy cell in its place. So we definitely are facing forward with that. We are losing power, I suppose because it's nightfall or nighttime. It's about the only thing that I can think. So let's go ahead and sleep and make sure that we are producing some power. I know that we're only producing 1024 here now, but that should be sufficient. So yeah, now we are gaining power. We're going to go ahead and grab this other redstone energy cell, or hardened energy cell, and we're going to remove these cables as well. Now we're going to put the hardened flux ducts back here, just so that we don't have... Did I just turn that? Yes. So let's go ahead and grab that. So we're going to take and change our configuration here to where we're outputting on the side. The rest of these we pretty much all want nothing. Whoop. So we want the top to input and the side to output. Now we should be feeding the network as well as charging our energy cell. Now these conduits are not going to be sufficient at this point, so we're going to have to also upgrade these guys to the redstone. So let's go ahead and place in a few of these. And of course that killed our power here, but we have sufficient power here. Now these guys will handle 8,000 RF tick for each connection. So we can feed 8,000 RF out of the side of the energy cell, but we will be limited when we get too many connections. So I suppose what I'll do for now, I'll put that back there because we shouldn't be using more power than we need from one connection in these last few machines. But yeah, I'm going to get a few more things set up here. We're just about ready to move the majority of our machines over here. I have 3 of the reinforced redstone furnaces, so that will definitely work out good. And yep, I will get all that taken care of, and next time I see you, hopefully we'll be working over there. So I have all of my machines. We should be ready to start setting stuff up over here. Now I have a crafting terminal here so that we can very easily get to our ME system. And what we're going to do to start out with is place our redstone energy cell right here. And we are going to set 2 of our solar panel 5s, one on each side of this guy. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that our configuration is correct. We're going to set to output on the face, and we're going to input on each side. Now we're going to come through here. We're going to place redstone energy conduits going out away from that on each side, and then we're going to start placing our machines here. So the most important thing that we have to start out with is going to be our furnaces. We're going to set those right in along here, and we're going to have to set these up. Our configuration, we're just going to basically turn the configuration off on all of these. And yeah, we're going to see. That won't quite work, will it? No, we're going to need space in between each of these. So actually here, we'll put this one here, and we're going to remove that one and move it over by a block. And now we're going to remove these blocks in between. Now these things we're going to get automatic inputs and outputs on them. So we're going to place our covered cable here, and we're going to place import buses on the bottom. So these will pull in the items. We're going to set our output to the bottom on all of these. And then we're going to get back up top, and we're going to put these cables up in between them as well. Now we're going to put export buses on each side of these, and once again over here we're going to do the same thing, and we'll put some ME covered cable here, and we're going to have to grab a little bit more of this covered cable. And we're going to come down here, and we're going to connect this into our network now. Oops, didn't quite get that right. So that should give us now a whole bunch of channels used here once this updates. Okay, there we go. So we're using 6 channels currently. And now what we want to do is we have a whole bunch of the pulverized items, and we're going to set those to automatically run through these furnaces. So we need iron for sure. We want our gold. We want copper. And I think that might be it. Silver and tin, we'll go with all of those. Now we're going to want capacity cards in these. So we're going to drop in a capacity card, just a capacity card, and we're going to set these up to do all 5 of those in every one of these. So that should very rapidly start putting in the pulverized ores. We're going to do the same thing to each one of these. And that will hopefully, oh, we need to set our inputs. That's set to input, not output. So we need our input there on that side. We need our input here on that side. And we need our input there on that side. So that will start smelting all of our pulverized items. Now these are kind of slow, so we're going to put an acceleration card in each one of those as well. I think I've got a few more of those here. So we'll go ahead and place an acceleration card in there and an acceleration card in here. And that should make it to where now we have full stacks of each one in there. And that will run all of our pulverized ores through. That's a start. So the next thing that we want to do is get our pulverizers themselves going. Well, we need to upgrade both of our pulverizers to reinforced. So we need a pulverizer. And oh, that didn't. Why does that not work? Okay, so our pulverizer, we need to upgrade this to hardened as well. Oh, that one's basic. Okay, well, we've got to go a tier down. We don't have enough Invar. Alright, so we're going to need to set up the induction smelter next. So we'll go ahead and break that out. We're going to put this underneath. We will put an import bus on top of that. And we're going to put the induction smelter down here now. So we need iron and ferrous. So let's go ahead and grab our pulverized iron and pulverized ferrous. And this should be able to be turned into Invar. That will automatically be placed into the system if we put our output here. So that should work now. So now let's try this one more time. And it put a fluid transposer in its place. What is going on here? Why is it using machines that it's not supposed to be using? Okay, let's try this again. We might as well just make our fluid transposer reinforced while we're at it too. The hardened one will turn to reinforced. Okay, so that gives us our pulverizers in a reinforced state. And where are we going to place these? I suppose what we'll do is we'll stack these guys right here. So that will work out just fine. We'll place our ME cables up each side. And I think this is going to be too many channels now. I think actually we've got 8 channels already. We've got 7 channels. So what we're going to want to do is grab some cable anchors. And we're going to place these in between here to hopefully separate these guys so that it no longer connects. So we'll put that there, and then we can bring this cable out and connect into here. So now we have a connection there. We'll go ahead and run this up here as well. And that will give us the ability to have our connections here. So what we want here is export buses. And do we have any more of these? Yes, we do. Okay, so we need an export bus on each side of these guys. And we're going to set these up to input on that side and output on this side. And we need overall output. And then we're going to put import buses on here. And we will need one piece of redstone energy conduit there. And we're going to put what we want pulverized in there. So we want our, this one is not set right. So we want to put cobblestone into one of these. So we're going to place our cobblestone into this one, and I think we're going to place some of our other ores in here. So let's see here. We want a capacity card and an acceleration card here. Do we have any more acceleration cards? No. So we'll just leave that alone. Now what we'll need is our ore gravels. So we don't have any ore gravels currently. We're going to take and make some iron ore gravel, some copper ore gravel, tin. That's not what I wanted to grab. Gold. And the last one was what? Silver? Okay, so that will be the 5 that we are already running here. We're going to set those into this one. And then we need to start setting up our auto crafting. So the auto crafting, if we look at our NEI for crafting, crafting, we have something here called an auto packager. No, we have to actually put that in a packager. So the auto packager takes pistons, crafting table, redstone reception coil, and some iron. Now this thing will take and make certain items based on what's being put in. So if we go here, so current mode is 2x2, then 3x3. So actually I think what we want to do here, we'll move that right here. We're going to put a redstone energy conduit behind it, and we are going to put an export bus with, right now, just broken iron ore in there. So if we place an export bus right here, and we go with the, no, not export buses, broken iron ore, we should, we should, stop it. So we're currently 2x2. We should be able to set this up to put back into the system, and we're going to need another import bus. So the import bus, we don't have our annihilation cores, so we're going to make up a bunch of those, make up a bunch of these, and we should be able to now put this to import out of there. Now, hopefully what we see is iron ore coming out of there. Right now I don't see anything happening. So I don't know for sure if that's going to work or not. I may have to do a little experimenting with that. But we do have some options for auto crafting. But I don't know, we may have to look at some other things. The auto packager definitely will work with cobblestone. But, yeah, I don't know. So we've got some of our machines set up here. I'm going to have to do a little bit of checking to see how long we're running on the episode, but I'm also going to do a little checking on this auto crafting setup, and I will be back in just a little bit. So what I figured out here on this auto packager is we need a chest on the left-hand side of the crafting grid for input and right-hand side for output, and what we want to do right now is have this set for 2x2, then 3x3, and we can have either cobblestone or our broken ores run through here, and it'll make the gravels or the compressed cobblestone, and it will only take items if there is room. So I'm going to have to set up export buses into the chest and import buses out of this chest in order to make this work. That's going to be something I will probably set up between episodes because we are way over time today. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to give a thumbs up and let me know if you have any thoughts or anything that I may be doing wrong or things that you think I could be doing better. Let me know down in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!